Bien, y ahora te vamos a presentar el vídeo de la charla presentación que hizo Landatel junto con un nuevo fabricante, Ignite, que promete mucho y sobre todo nos gustó el punto a punto que tenían, que pudimos probar.
Tienen un sistema punto a punto en la banda de 60 GHz, que es una banda que nos permite altísimas velocidades a costa de que realmente son enlaces a corta distancia, pero bueno, en entornos urbanos realmente resuelven muy y mucho además con un backup integrado. Bueno, no, yo creo que no vale la pena
mejor lo ves.
ver el vídeo.
Mejor lo ves. Pues aprovechamos también la ocasión para saludar a nuestro amigo
Harold, el CEO de Ignite, con el cual también tuvimos la oportunidad de compartir unas palabras y y una comida de por medio, claro que sí.
Pues nada, adelante el vídeo y que también te sea provechoso.
Buenos días, gracias por venir. Vamos a empezar la charla de Ignite o Ignite y voy a hacer una breve introducción. La charla la van a hacer en inglés porque Harold, que es el CEO de Ignite, pues habla un poquito español, pero sobre todo inglés. Entonces, yo creo que la presentación se va a entender. En cualquier caso, cualquier duda, estamos aquí para ayudaros. Voy a hacer una breve introducción de lo que es Ignite, aunque la compañía tiene muy poco tiempo, un año apenas. Harold, pues sí que es el CEO de la compañía y tiene un bagaje bastante amplio en empresas. Yo le conocí en Ubiquiti, luego ha pasado por diferentes empresas, RC Wireless, y ahora pues ha fundado Ignite, que es una compañía americana, pero que tiene por detrás el soporte de un gigante asiático como es el grupo Acton. Acton es una compañía que factura más de 1.000 millones de dólares anualmente. Fabrica para grandes compañías como Cambium, como Alcatel, como Huawei. Y pues es un gigante tecnológico y además financieramente pues tiene también el soporte necesario para poner los productos que Ignite nos está presentando. Cuando Hal vino a verme la primera vez, yo le dije que teníamos saturación de productos y que queríamos productos nuevos, productos que hicieran algo diferente. Y fue cuando me empezó a hablar de uno de los productos estrella que vamos a presentar hoy, que son los enlaces de 60 GHz. Javier Atero, que es nuestro director de ingeniería, os hablará un poquito de esta banda, porque es una banda que es muy desconocida para mucha gente, pero que da mucho rendimiento en distancias cortas y para entornos urbanos es ideal. Os van a presentar también pues, una serie de productos que son novedosos, que se diferencian de lo que hay en el mercado, e incluso la parte de Wi-Fi, que es muy similar a otras marcas, pues tiene el componente, primero, de que los equipos están muy bien hechos, porque están hechos en las factorías de Acton, y segundo, porque tienen un control en cloud. Entonces, por 99 dólares al año, $99 per year, podéis tener una cuenta para controlar dispositivos ilimitados a través de cloud. O sea, si montáis diferentes hoteles, por ejemplo, pues podéis integrarlo todo en diferentes grupos dentro de vuestra cuenta dentro del cloud. Os va a hablar de ello, de todo esto Hal, pero antes le voy a dar el paso a Javier para que os haga una pequeña introducción sobre la banda de 60 GHz.
Muy bien, gracias Manuel. Bueno, muy brevemente, la intención, como dice Manuel, es presentaros esta banda porque muchos de vosotros o no la conocéis o no conocéis qué tipo de aplicaciones se pueden plantear. Entonces, muy brevemente, introduciremos esta banda, un poco cuáles son la normativa legal en referencia a la misma. Voy a introducir luego muy brevemente estos equipos, que son los Metrolink, las características, un poco para enfocaros la charla, y luego Hal se extenderá y os hablará del equipo y de las evoluciones, ¿no? Bueno, la banda de 57 a 66 GHz está específicamente diseñada para enlaces de muy alta capacidad. Es decir, en España hay una norma que dicta el Ministerio, que es la nota UN 147 del Cuadro Nacional de Atribución de Frecuencias, que especifica qué tipo de uso se puede hacer en ella. Y esta nota es una transposición de una directiva europea, es decir, al final el CENAP lo que hace es coger la normativa europea y transponerla al territorio nacional. En esta banda podéis verla, o sea, buscáis el Cuadro Nacional de Atribución de Frecuencias y buscáis esta nota, pues aproximadamente en 40 líneas os indica qué tipo de aplicaciones tiene. En resumen, Es una banda para aplicaciones de datos de muy alta capacidad. Se puede usar tanto en entornos de interior como en entornos de exterior. Lo que se llama MGVDS, que es Multiple Gigabit Wireless Systems, es decir, sistemas inalámbricos con velocidades superiores al gigabit. Esta banda es de uso común, es decir, podemos transmitir sin pedir licencia. Es una banda lo que se llama de uso libre, ¿vale? Banda no licenciada. Siempre que la PIRE que utilicemos esté en entornos de exterior limitado a 55 dB. En entornos de interior tiene otra limitación, pero bueno, básicamente nosotros la vamos a utilizar casi siempre en entornos de exterior. Y fijaros que dentro de las MGWS hay un tipo de aplicación que es lo que se llama FLANE, que es Fixed Local Area Network Extension, es decir, está específicamente diseñada para extensión de redes de área local. Por ejemplo, yo tengo un edificio con mi red y al otro lado de la autopista pues tengo otro edificio. Quiero extender mi red de área local, pues para este tipo de aplicaciones se puede hacer. Luego también hay otro tipo de usos que también se pueden dar. Si queréis podéis mirarlos en la norma. Es decir, que esta banda está legalmente, podemos utilizar estos equipos legalmente en esta banda para transmitir datos de muy alta capacidad. Lo que ocurre en esta banda, claro, la gente del ministerio cuando asigna una banda de uso libre, pues tiene que decidir qué tipo de banda usa y qué espectro utiliza para dar ese servicio. Obviamente, lo que ha hecho en este caso es utilizar una banda en donde el oxígeno tiene un pico de absorción. Quiere decir que en esta banda, ¿vale?, la atenuación en el aire es mayor que en otras. Es decir, es mayor que en las bandas consecutivas. ¿Qué quiere decir? Pues que vamos a tener pérdidas de propagación en torno a 15 dB por kilómetro, es decir, unas pérdidas bastante altas. Esto, para aplicaciones de muy alta capacidad, limita la distancia máxima que podemos conseguir. El límite está ahí. Luego también afecta mucho la lluvia, evidentemente, ¿no? A mayor frecuencia, todo lo que sean frecuencias superiores a 7, 11, 15 GHz son muy afectadas por la lluvia, en este caso 60 GHz con mucha más razón. Por tanto, el alcance de estos equipos puede estar en torno a 2 kilómetros, 1,5 kilómetros. This is 1,5 kilómetros. Máximo, el de abajo, que es una antena exterior de 22 dB, dBs, tiene un alcance aproximadamente, podéis utilizarlo para distancias en torno a 1 kilómetro, 1,5 kilómetros o menores, ¿no? Y el de arriba pues un poquito menos. Siempre que usemos tasas grandes y queramos una disponibilidad alta, en este caso de más del 99,99. ¿Qué ventajas tiene el uso en estas bandas? Bueno, pues podemos utilizar enlaces de muy alta capacidad. Este que veis aquí, ahora os hablará Hal. Conseguimos teóricamente hasta 1 gigabit por segundo, pero la evolución es conseguir mucha más capacidad en esta banda. Tenemos, obviamente, mucha inmunidad frente a ruido e interferencias. La apertura de estos enlaces es menor de 1 grado. Quiere decir que todo lo que venga, aunque tengamos enlaces con la misma frecuencia en la misma torre, no nos van a interferir. Es decir, esta banda podemos utilizarla en entornos que tengamos mucha interferencia, porque no nos van a interferir otros enlaces. Podemos reutilizar las frecuencias por eso, es decir, podemos poner muchos equipos en una misma torre, cada uno en una dirección, porque no se van a interferir. Y luego, si utilizamos, que es lo que hacen estos equipos, técnicas de modulación adaptativa, es decir, cuando llueve, pues baja la modulación, baja la capacidad, de tal forma que los errores pues, se corrijan automáticamente y el enlace no se corte. Y luego, obviamente, seguridad, ¿no? O sea, si alguien quiere interceptar las comunicaciones, pues con un ancho de haz de un grado es muy, muy complicado, ¿no? Básicamente esto es lo que es la banda de 60 y, bueno, pues como veis, este equipo trabaja en esa banda. Es una banda que cada vez va a ser más utilizada y que ya hay mucha gente que la usa para este tipo de aplicaciones, ¿no? Y simplemente ya para introducir el Metrolink, nosotros vemos que es un producto muy disruptivo, como ha dicho Manuel. Estamos buscando equipos que no existan en el mercado, que proporcionen valores añadidos que actualmente no tenemos. Ahora mismo trabaja con 1 gigabit por segundo agregado y en el futuro pues más, ¿no? Estos enlaces además incorporan un segundo radio de 5 GHz incluido en el propio equipo. Tenemos la variante de que tenga la antena ya integrada o también que tenga 2 conectores N para ponerle nosotros la antena que queramos. Y este enlace lo utilizaremos sobre todo, podemos utilizarlo como punto de acceso, pues si queremos dar servicio a pues un entorno Wi-Fi, pues lo podemos utilizar ese radio como punto de acceso, o también podemos usarlo de backup. Pues cuando hay una lluvia fuerte, una lluvia torrencial que hace que se corte el enlace de 60, automáticamente salta el enlace de 5. ¿no? Es un enlace en AC. Por tanto, pues la capacidad puede estar en torno a la máxima 800 megabits por segundo. Como ha dicho Manuel, otro valor añadido de esta tecnología es que tiene una gestión en cloud muy sencilla y muy fácil de utilizar. Y luego funcionalidades pues, típicas de los equipos, pero sobre todo destacar, y ahora lo que incorporará HAL, que están en constante evolución. Y nada, ya sin más, deciros eso, que nosotros lo hemos probado, hemos hecho pruebas. No os puedo decir el cliente, pero hemos hecho pruebas de streaming, además, de vídeo, ¿vale? Y el equipo funciona y transmite capacidades superiores. Nosotros hemos conseguido transmitir más de 600 megabits por segundo y sin ninguna pérdida de calidad en la señal, ¿no? Estamos hablando de señales de muy alta calidad. Y nada, no me extiendo más, dejo paso a Hal.
We pass the slides? Or do you need we push?
It's okay. I can turn it in. Okay. Gracias. Okay, so I think the general idea, I'll introduce the general IgniteNet products, and then we'll talk more about the Metrolink. And I'll ask for translation services as needed. So the first question is why would you choose IgniteNet? So basically we focus on 3 major areas. One is to make it easy to use, to save cost, and then also to eventually add over-the-top services on top of the platform that service providers can use to add more revenue. And I'll talk about these sort of in more detail in a moment. So the general idea, though, is that all of these things are made possible through our cloud controller. A lot of people ask us, do I have to use the cloud? And the answer for that is no. The cloud is completely optional. If you want to use the cloud and it makes sense for you, then great. If it doesn't make sense for you, it's not mandatory. So specifically, when we talk about IgniteNet products, we have 2 major areas. One is focused on MSPs, system integrators. This is like the Wi-Fi type products. And we have a full line of those. Some of these are up here now. And I'll go through these sort of quickly. All of these are on our website. You can learn about them there. But the general idea is we have a complete line of indoor access points. And they start from cost-focused, so the lowest cost, the lowest price, up to the highest performance. So we go to 4x4, 11 AC. And all of these are priced quite well. They all work with the cloud controller, and it's using the latest technology. These support different types of applications. Some of them are passive PoE, some of them are standards-based PoE. And it depends on the deployment scenario. So besides the indoor access points, we also have the outdoor access points as well. Some of these are a bit unique. So for example, we have units which are 2 radio, and all of the antennas are inside. So this is useful if you need to do, for example, 5 gigahertz backhaul and 2.4 gigahertz service. And then we also have, again, they range from single radio to dual radio. And one new product that we're launching this month is the Spark Outdoor. And this is an ultra low cost dual band concurrent outdoor access point. And then to power these, we have launching also our first PoE switch. It's very similar to this switch that you see here, except instead of SFP ports, they're regular Ethernet ports. This supports the high power PoE standard for 10 gig uplinks, and then of course it's priced very well, and we'll have cloud management for it as well. So you can manage the access points, you can manage the switches, you can manage the Metro link. All of these are manageable through the same interface. Okay, I'll change now and talk about our service provider side. So on the service provider side, again, it's all about end-to-end solution. So we want to be able to provide a solution for the WAN. So we provide, for example, fiber, Metrolink for the fixed wireless, as well as all the way into the customer premise. So we also have, you'll see here in a bit, we have devices which are focused to go inside your subscriber's home. And the advantage of that is the same cloud can be used to provide management of that device. So you can manage everything from the WAN all the way into the individual customer network and provide managed services all the way to the end user devices. So this is, of course, on the fixed wireless side, we have the Metrolink, which Javier had already talked about a bit. We have two different sizes. We have the large size and then the smaller size. Performance-wise, they're the same. The only difference is really the size, and then that means it's a difference in distance. But even though it's probably 30% the size, it actually can reach a distance of 80%. So you don't lose a lot of distance by going to the smaller size. And it's more friendly for some installations too. We have a lot of other new devices that are meant to complement this. So today we have up here the SFP switch. So the Fusion Switch SFP, the idea is it can provide SFP ports. Normally these would be used for fiber. We have another sort of unique product which is shown here, which is actually a VDSL SFP. So you can see this. These basically come in pairs. So you can plug one into any sort of SFP device. This switch now becomes like a DSLAM. So basically, this now becomes a VDSL or fiber or Ethernet. And then the other one goes into the other side on the remote end. So what this means is that you can plug it into anything that supports as SFP. It could be MikroTik, it could be, of course, we prefer our products, but it can go into anything. So this, maybe there's 10 in existence in the world, and there's 2 here. So these are we'll start shipping in samples later this month, and then in higher volumes starting in May. One other thing that's not up here that I'll mention too, VDSL2, the speed is around 300 megabits per second total. These are set to be symmetrical, so it's 150, 150. There will be a G.fast version coming, maybe June, July timeframe, and that's going to increase the speed. It'll look the same, but the speed will increase to around 1 gigabit per second. So still over a single pair, which is nice when you need to deal with old wiring. Another accessory that we're launching as well is it's outdoor media converter. And again, this could convert from fiber into Ethernet. It can convert from VDSL into Ethernet. And what this allows you to do, actually, it's fiber and power, and then PoE out, or PoE in, fiber plus power out. So the applications for this, you can use it to run fiber up a tower for a radio which doesn't support fiber. You can also use it to run fiber, for example, close to the Metrolink and then switch to Ethernet. So I mentioned that we also want to provide service for inside the subscriber's premise. So we're also launching a very cost-effective AC1200 gateway. And this gateway, of course, can still be managed by the cloud. So if your subscriber calls and they say, I don't remember my WPA password, you can help them with that. If they call and say, my internet's slow, you're able to see how, what the signal levels of the devices are that are connected. Maybe there's an iPad with a really bad signal. You're able to see all of this from the cloud. And this slide, I won't go through again, but the point here, this is the same as on the Wi-Fi side. These devices can also be used as infrastructure fixed wireless. It's just a difference in the configuration. And then last, we do also sell dishes and sectors. We have a little bit of a unique dish offering. We actually offered the dish in a 5-pack. And what's nice about the 5-pack is that it's the packaging is only about 20% larger. So it's a lot more cost-effective to ship it, and the overall cost is a lot lower. And then on the sector side, we have both the RPSMA, which is compatible with like MikroTik, Ubiquiti, these kinds of products, as well as an N connector version for other types of radios like Radwin, LigoWave, these kinds of products. So we're starting to build on the cloud controller. So what we're able to do with the cloud is to be able to offer over-the-top services. So let's say that you have a subscriber and they want to do content filtering. Maybe it's a church or it's a school. You're able to offer through our cloud controller, you can offer that service to them. You charge the subscriber for that on a monthly basis, and then we basically charge you as the service provider to offer that. But we offer a very cost-effective services. We're also partnering with third parties. You can see some of them here: Single Digits, Cloud4We, Purple Wi-Fi. All of these companies, they focus on different market verticals, maybe hotels, maybe retail analytics. So it makes it easy for you to offer these add-on services to all of your customers as well. And just one quick note on the cloud controller, it is multi-hosted throughout the world, and it's also, the data is encrypted end-to-end, so you don't have to worry about the issue. If for some reason the cloud is down, the devices continue to work fine. So it's really just there to support the operation. Couple of quick case studies. We do have a few successes on the wireless infrastructure side. So we have one 5-star hotel that's mentioned here. It took about 70 access points, and it gets about 600 concurrent users each day. And they actually replaced Aruba in this case, so they were very happy to save a lot of cost there. And here's another case. Actually, it's a service provider in Canada that installs a lot of different hotels throughout a very big land area. And he's quite thrilled. He's able to do all of this from his mobile phone now. So he knows now if there's a problem before the customer is calling. He also found out from this that the internet connectivity to some of the hotels was quite poor, because he can see all of the access points go offline, come back online, bad internet. And I'll just show this quickly again. I can make these slides available for you to look at later, but the point here is that on the Wi-Fi side, we offer a very competitive solution. We have all the features that our competitors have for the most part, like band steering, assisted roaming. We do dynamic VLAN, all of these types of things. And we do it at a much lower price point. This is an example for 10 access points over 5 years. So even though we do charge for the cloud controller a very small amount, you end up saving quite a bit of money compared to things, and especially when you get up into the Cisco, Meraki type products. Okay, now we'll change gears a bit and talk a little bit more about the Metrolink product. I'll go through some of these quickly. I think you guys know as service providers what's driving all of the demand for the bandwidth. As wireless ISPs, typically you've had to make some compromises, right? So your customers, maybe they want to stream video all day long, or maybe they have a family of 4 and 4 people want to stream video. A lot of people don't want those customers because they eat a lot of bandwidth. So what we're trying to do is to bring tools to the market that ISPs can use in that are even wireless, that can provide that sort of service level that fiber can. So again, that's really driven a lot by video today. There's a lot of other things that they say are coming, like IoT and smart cities and things like that. But what's really driving bandwidth today is of course the video traffic. The good news is that we're actually delivering solutions today that can deal with that. So anyway, I'll get to the exciting stuff here. Again, with Metrolink, all of our products are manageable through the cloud controller. You can do it all from your mobile phone or from your laptop, and we will be offering, again, just launching now, the third-party marketplace too. Okay, this picture is a little bit difficult to see, but basically it's a picture of the world, and it's been color-coded and labeled by the ITU to give sort of like rain regions. If we look at Spain, it's covered by both the K region and the H region. So this is important because this sort of map gives you an idea of what the distance that you can achieve with the 60 gigahertz product. We do have this available. If it's not on the website now, we will post it. But there's a guide that basically explains, find where you are on the map, find which letter you are, and then you can see what the distance is for 5 nines, 4 nines, 3 nines. So I'll explain this a little bit here. So this is an example of the B region, and what this shows basically is this is the large size and this is the small size. The blue line is basically showing you 99.999 uptime. So basically up to a 5 minutes outage per year statistically. So with a large size, for example, you can reach in the B region 1.5 kilometers, and then with a smaller size about 1.2. And then if you can do 4 nines or 3 nines or 2 nines, this is only considering the 60 gigahertz radio. It doesn't consider the integrated 5 gigahertz backup radio. So if you can accept more outage for the 60 gigahertz radio, you can extend that further to 2 kilometers, and then it'll just switch to the 5 gigahertz during those times of heavy rain. This is all based on statistical rainfall models. Let's see. So to talk a little bit more about the importance, or what we see as the importance of the 60 gigahertz. So if you look at a comparison between 60 gigahertz, 24 gigahertz, and 5 gigahertz, and you look at how much spectrum is available for ISPs to use, and you look at how much they interfere. So the first chart is showing that 90% of the unlicensed spectrum is actually available in 60 gigahertz. Only 10% is available in 24, 5 gigahertz, and 2.4 gigahertz, all combined. So there's a huge amount of spectrum that's been made available to all of us to be able to do what we need to do there. If you look at the interference potential between those, you see 60 gigahertz doesn't even show up because the percent is so small. What's helping us here is that for 60 gigahertz, oxygen is actually absorbing the signal. So while, and I'll switch to a comparison between 24 gigahertz. So with 24 gigahertz, if you want 5 nines of availability, you can go about 1 kilometer and get full speed. With Metrolink, you can go about about the same distance. However, if you look at the green line, you'll see that there's no more 60 gigahertz signal at 2.5 kilometers. It's basically been absorbed by oxygen. In comparison, 24 gigahertz continues to interfere for 15 or 20 kilometers more. What that means is basically that it's going to cause much more interference. It's a very small band. So again, if you look 5 years down the road, 24 gigahertz will look a lot like 5 gigahertz does now. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing with network deployment models now. So this is quite a slide here, but basically it shows this is actually one customer's network that they're building, and the idea is to do a pure wireless network using 60 gigahertz links to build rings and redundant rings. So they actually use customer homes and customer buildings to relay the signal using point-to-points. Now, this could be a fiber deployment as well. The difference here is that this customer, they don't know where their next customer is going to be. So they need to build rings, basically lots of rings and lots of sub-rings, and be able to build it organically as they build out. So we understand this is a very interesting deployment model. So we're actually working on something. There's a data center technology called Trill. And what Trill lets you do is basically create a mesh of links, and Trill handles the routing of packets for all of those. So the problem with Trill today is that it's only available in very expensive switches, like $15,000 switches. So we're working on a lower cost version, maybe a 5-port switch, and try to target between $100 and $200. So basically that would be able to be used to provide connectivity. The nice thing about Trill is that it works with any layer 2 technology. So these links can be built with fiber, they can be built with Ethernet, they can be built with air fibers, with anything that is a layer 2. Of course, it can be built with 60 gigahertz metro links too. So this is basically a sort of a pure wireless model of building out using point-to-point. I'll also talk about another one that we're working on too. And the idea behind this one is what people are calling hybrid fiber wireless. And the way the hybrid fiber wireless works is you run a fiber trunk. It could be active fiber, it could be GPON, and then you branch off of that and do the last hundreds of meters using 60 gigahertz. We have one product which is not announced, which there's a prototype of here. And the idea is that basically to not only do point-to-point in 60 gigahertz, but also to be able to do point-to-multipoint. Now again, this can be hybrid fiber wireless. The idea is how do you get bandwidth to the sectors, and then how do you save time and save money to get the bandwidth to the individual homes or the individual businesses. So the hybrid fiber wireless saves quite a bit, especially in the urban areas. So if you look at what does it cost to lay fiber in an urban area, typically it costs in the neighborhood of $82,000 per kilometer, which is a huge cost. Now, that's going to vary depending on if you're boring underneath a city or if you're plowing in a field. But the point is that if you look at a large fiber operator, like Google Fiber is a good example. They've been deploying fiber now for, I think, 4 years, and they have like 30,000 subscribers only. It takes a long time to bury fiber. So how do you speed that up? We believe hybrid fiber wireless does it. It does it at a much lower price point, and it does it much faster. So what does the future of 60 gigahertz hold? We talked a little bit about this earlier, but basically, we see point-to-point, of course, is a good starting point. We see point-to-multipoint as a next step. We see multipoint to multipoint or mesh is also a good path for it. And then we're at sort of the very, very, very beginning of the 60 gigahertz market. So you'll see a lot of innovative products coming from us as well. The roadmap for 60 gigahertz does not stop at 1 gigabit per second. We're already working on faster products. The roadmap takes 60 gigahertz to 100 gigabit per second in the next 5 years. So there's a huge potential for this product and for this market space. So definitely stay tuned to what we're working on. You'll see quite a bit of new products coming from us even in the next several months. So. La futura es ahora. And then I'm happy to take questions. Before we do that, though, we do have one beta tester. Robert, would you mind? Robert was a very early guinea pig, I guess, and got to try the product early. And if you don't mind, just maybe you can say a few words about your experience.
Okay. Thank you. A ver, pasamos a español. Que a mí me enviaron este para probarlo como beta tester y lo tengo puesto en un enlace de 800 metros, que es poca distancia, pero bueno, no sé si alguno de ustedes habéis puesto una airfiber de 24, que es ponerlo y olvidarte de la antena y eso sigue funcionando, si hay electricidad por lo menos, pero esto es igual, que lo pones y te olvidas, porque funciona simplemente y, no sé, al momento de conectar, hombre, el apuntar es un poco más complicado que el de 24, porque el ángulo es muy, muy preciso. Exactamente. Es con, bueno, ellos venden un telescopio y te puede ayudar un poco a orientarla. Y después tienen una aplicación, o llámalo como quieras, para aiming tool, se llama en inglés, para afinarlo más. Entonces, la aplicación esa me ayudó bastante a afinarlo. Y en el momento de conectar, del tirón te da 1 giga de conectividad. O sea, buena a mi distancia, por lo menos. Y con lluvia hay algo de pérdida. Yo perdí en el enlace, que lo tengo a 66 decibelios, perdí unos 4 decibelios. Pero sigue funcionando y a velocidad a tope. Y nada, me ha dado mejores resultados que el de 24 a esa distancia, porque lo tengo al lado y me ha dado más velocidad por menos dinero. Así que perfecto, ¿no? Yo termino quitando mi airfiber de ahí y lo pongo en un sitio donde me haga falta un poco más de distancia y iré poniendo más, porque funciona. Y nada, a ver si pruebo también el aparatito de multipunto, que es bastante interesante. Ese es el telescopio. Y el soporte nuevo lo recomiendo, porque esto, sí, a mí se me partió porque apreté demasiado, porque no quiero que se caiga, pero hombre, este vale bien si tienes que mirar para arriba, mirar para abajo, mucho, y ese está bien para larga distancia. A mí...
And we have a new mount coming as an optional accessory. So we have a new mounting option also coming for the Metrolink, and this is what it looks like. Gracias, Robert. And there's a sample here as well. It's not this one is the final one. This one is almost final one. But you can get a feel for how substantial it is. So, yes, question.
I have to transport one fiber optic connection that I have in 10 kilometers from the place where I have my network. I wish to know, in the real world, what kind of antenna could I use and how much can I get from that lease in 10 kilometers, talking about throughput.
Yeah, so in the in the 60 gigahertz free band, 10 kilometers is practically impossible. But we understand that there's a need for this higher capacity and longer distance as well. So we do have plans to move into the light license E band. That's a 70 gigahertz, 80 gigahertz. And in this band, you can go the same distance as like 24 gigahertz. but with a high capacity. Because that's something that we're working on for later products. And unfortunately, because of the oxygen absorption, it's not possible to go 10 kilometers with the free band unless we remove.
How much could be the maximum distance?
The maximum really, so if you went from, this is a 0.35 meter size, if you double that to 0.6 or 0.7, you'll only go about 20% further. So you need to go like building size or something.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hola, buenas.
Hola.
¿Alguien me puede traducir? Venga, la pregunta es muy sencilla. Si esta antena para emparejarla necesita mucha precisión por este 1%, yo, por ejemplo, en mi caso tengo una torre de 35 metros de altura y yo sé que arriba o en medio, eso cuando hace allí fuerte levante, porque yo estoy en la zona de Cádiz, cerca de Tarifa, entonces puede mover un poco. ¿Eso me haría perder ese enlace, esa conexión?
Ya fueron lo que hicieron.
Small wind vibration can affect to the link.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want to answer in Spanish, but so basically we have quite a number of links that are out in the field now, and the wind and the movement doesn't seem to have that much of an effect. If the wind like moves it out of alignment, yes, but the shaking seems to not affect it. It's
Sí, puede ser aproximadamente 1,5 centímetros, 2, que pueda a lo mejor, ¿no?
It's fine. So if you look, what's the distance?
1 kilómetro.
So if you look at when the 60 gigahertz beam goes to the far side, even with the 1 degree, it's still like maybe 4 meter circle. So it's still the tower would need to. At 1 kilometer, it's like for.
Bien. Estupendo. Gracias. Thank you.
De nada.
¿Más preguntas?
Hello. One question, please. You said that in the moment that it's raining, you can do something to stop the losing the signal. I don't know. I don't remember that you said.
Yeah. So what we do to deal with this, inside here is actually 2 radios. There's one, the 60 gigahertz radio, and one 5 gigahertz radio. So what happens if the 60 gigahertz link will drop, the 5 gigahertz will take over. Maybe half second, quarter second
Okay,
time.
okay.
Then,
But maybe in the future this will have another, I don't know, another solution? You think so?
So the link drops because of the rain. The only solution really is to have a lower frequency as an option. It could be some other lower frequency potentially. So it could be like licensed band, or 5 gigahertz is there because it's also license free and it's easy. We understand there's also noise
yes, for this reason.
in this band. But for example, we can support all different channel sizes from 5 megahertz up to 80. 80 is probably unrealistic, but you would get some bandwidth still during the rain. It's just not as much as you would get when it's back off. But yeah, we're always looking for other options.
Okay, thank you.
¿Sí?
I have 2 questions. The first one, the interface for connection now is a gigabit Ethernet.
Correct. 2 of them.
That one connects both the radios inside, the 5 and the 60.
Correct. There's actually 2 Ethernet ports.
one for each?
Today they both connect to the same inside. To your point, we do have a plan to let you configure how you want it. Maybe you want one port connected to 5 gigahertz, one port connected to 60. You'll also be able to configure if you have your own failover. For example, if you want the port to turn off when the 60 gigahertz drops.
Yeah,
it's also planned for us.
That was my next question.
Okay.
Can I have one of them turned on and the other one off?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
because this is to avoid to have interference created by yourself. All right, that's all.
Yes, you could turn off the 5 gigahertz if you don't need it or don't want it.
Thanks.
¿Más preguntas?
For the SFP VDSL2 Plus, what is the range?
So the maximum range is 3 kilometers.
Cool.
But the speed then is like 2 megabits per second. So practical range to keep 100 megabits per second full duplex around 400 to 500 meters.
All right. How many pairs you need?
Sorry, how many what?
How many pairs? One pair? Two cables?
Just one pair, yeah.
All right, cool.
And the G.fast will be similar distance, just go faster.
All right, cool.
¿Alguna pregunta más?
Hi. We are very interested in this kind of solution, point-to-point and point-to-multipoint. Do you have any program to make a test for Canary Island, to try and buy, or you coming to Tenerife and
I
make
would
the test
love
together?
to come help. Yeah, sure. We can work it out.
Okay, take it. And
You
what
should
about
get
the
one that
price?
works.
Do you have any estimation about the price of these links, or
The
more or less?
price comes from Landatel.
Very low.
So I don't want to talk too much about price, but I'll give you some of our theory on pricing. So when we first started making the Metrolink product, everyone told us we couldn't make a link less than $1,000. So we did. And then now people tell us we can't do multipoint, so we will. Ultimately, and it's going to take us a little bit of time to get there, but for multipoint to work, like on a bigger scale, the CPE price needs to be below $300. That's what we feel. So that's what we're driving towards.
Okay, thank you.
So to make sure, we now say we believe in
Believe.
¿No tenéis más preguntas? ¿Sí?
Vale.
When do you think the 70 and 80 products will be more or less?
So the first one will be the lower 70 gigahertz, and that one we're trying to get out before the end of this year.
Okay.
And if anyone's interested, we do. I mean, I realize we're the manufacturer and we shouldn't talk about our speeds, but I will show you one with the latest firmware. You can see we did some MikroTik B test, which is actually not the best test, but what you can see is that if you're going one direction, we can achieve wire speed on the send, wire speed on the receive. We let it go full duplex as fast as it wants to, and we can achieve about 600 full duplex. This one is when we locked it to 500 by 500. So we're actually able to exceed our specification a little bit, and we'll continue to improve this as well. So we're not at the fastest that we can achieve even with the current products now. The radio can go actually quite a bit faster.
This one I should steal from the forum. The chip you're using inside the radio.
The what?
The chip.
The chip, yeah.
Will there be a possibility for us to have like a USB stick to connect to this one and make local tests? Because as I understand, they do have something that you can swap, well, plug into your computer.
So if you're talking specifically an 11AD product,
Yeah.
so we have our Wi-Fi side as well. We will look at doing 11AD products. What runs in the radios now is not resembling AD anymore. So the Mac layer and the software is completely different now. So we're not very much anywhere close to that. So to plug it into your laptop, it wouldn't work basically.
All right.
But we do see AD in its pure form, in the Wi-Fi form, as interesting for the Wi-Fi side later.
Internet of Things.
Yeah. Actually, with the 11AD standard, you can't achieve more than like maybe 150 or 200 meters based on the timing limits.
No, but in a small office that might be enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Nada, simplemente un comentario. Nosotros hemos probado para alinearlo, el telescopio que os he enseñado antes. Si veis aquí tiene dos ranuras, el telescopio se ancla aquí, y es muy pequeñito, ocupa con una mano, y entonces es muy sencillo porque simplemente con mirarlo desde aquí ya puedes ver el otro extremo y puedes alinearlo de forma muy sencillita. Nosotros lo hemos probado y la verdad es que funciona bastante bien.
Yeah, that's the one last thing I will say is definitely get the mounting scope for the aiming. It makes it a whole lot easier. Without the scope, it's could be a full day event. Until you get practice.
Pues nada, simplemente recalcar, ¿no? Nosotros creemos que este producto es disruptivo. No sé si habéis visto algo igual en el mercado a este precio, con estas funcionalidades y sobre todo con todo lo que ha contado Hal de nuevas versiones, más velocidades, más posibilidades, el backup integrado. Nosotros la verdad es que creemos que va a funcionar muy bien y por eso apostamos por él desde Landatel, porque va alineado con nuestra estrategia, ¿no? De dar capacidad, sencillez y una relación calidad-precio muy buena, ¿no? para los clientes.
También escucha y responde a los clientes.
Eso es. Y además, como veis, Hal está abierto a que le digáis lo que necesitáis y se estudia, se desarrolla. O sea, que es un producto en constante evolución, que a nosotros eso también nos gusta, ¿no? Que no es un producto cerrado.
Hemos traído 100 equipos. The first order was 50 links, more or less.
Yes, I think for Spain.
Los han vendido todos en 10 días.
More are coming. Gracias a todos.
Muy bien, muchas gracias, Hal. Thank you very much. Y muchísimas gracias a todos vosotros y sobre todo a los estoicos que habéis estado secuestrados durante 2 días. Con esta charla ya cerramos nuestro ciclo de conferencias en ASLAN y esperamos que el año que viene alimentarla con muchísimas más cosas. A ver cómo nos las ideamos para secuestraros de nuevo. Muchísimas gracias por haber venido. Gracias.